Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. The Ryzen 7 9800X3D. And when it came in, I just couldn't help it. I had to snag one for myself. And the reason I decided to drop all the money when I was already rocking a 7700X, well, we'll talk about that later. Now, aside from the new Zen 5 architecture, there's a lot of other things about the 9800X3D that I'm pretty excited to check out. So we're gonna do some all-around benchmarking today. We're gonna hit it with some gaming, we're gonna hit it with some 3D Mark and Cinebench, and then after that, we're gonna hit it with what's become one of the most important productivity tasks for me. Somebody who shoots all his videos in 4K 60 FPS. But before all that, I wanna see just how much of a boost on everything I'm getting over my 7700X. So, while the 7700X is still in here, let's go ahead and do some benchmarks with that and get our baselines. Alright, so we're going to start with Cyberpunk, because the second game I actually haven't gotten around to play yet, and I'm pretty excited. So once we do the final gaming benchmarks with the X3D chip in, I'm probably going to want to play it a little longer, so we'll save that one for last. And then we're not going to do any overclocking or anything with this test. We're going to keep it pretty vanilla with just the basics, MSI Afterburner, XMP, you know, kind of just right out of the box stuff, and that's it. So let's get to it. We'll save the overclocking for another video. Alright, let's check our settings. Good. Alright, so I guess you could say it's more kind of at like ray tracing high, not really ultra necessarily. We're close, but you know, we are playing on my main rig this time, so this is actually a 34-inch Asus TUF 1440p 165 Hz monitor. So 4070 Super unfortunately is not like, yeah. Let's bump the settings a little bit. Give me quality. Let's get to it. Cyberpunk 7700X test commencing. Now, this is really weird. I've never seen this happen before, but when we first launched into this game, it didn't say anything about having an update. And when we got into the game, the performance was a little, it just seemed off. Like we were getting below 60 sometimes, but like a max of 70. It was weird, and I was like having to turn down settings. I'm like, this 4070 Super in 1440p should really have no problem with any game, and to get below 60, it was weird. So I closed down the game, and then I went back into GOG, and all of a sudden there was an update. And I launched back into the game, and you know, now we're cranked all the way up except for path tracing. Usually if there's an update in a game, it won't even let you launch the game, so I don't know, that's pretty weird. And the CPU was running a little hot too. It was weird all around. Actually, before we go any further, I'm gonna make a save right here. That way we can do the exact same missions and make sure we're getting the closest, you know, test as we can possibly do without just hitting the benchmark button or just walking in a straight line or something like that. We gotta keep it a little entertaining. Why is there a finger hovering behind the car? Is this like some sort of hollow effect coming out of this futuristic muffler?
Help! You gotta look out there!
Rule number 2. Never look at the package. Let's do another gig and then we'll move on to the next game. This guy's clearly got some demons. Good luck to you, buddy. There's help for you out there. Alright, so indoors we're definitely steady over 80. We're getting over 90 a good bit when we're inside. Oh! And that's why porn is not great for your brain. Alright, so we're getting an average about 84 FPS. So let's go ahead and move on to the next game, and then we'll hit it with our usual benchmarks. Black Myth Wukong is a big fan of all the FromSoft games. I play them all on repeat, and Sekiro is without a doubt my favorite. So I've been looking forward to this one for quite a while now. I just haven't really had a good chance to get around to playing it. Now, I didn't get the deluxe version on purpose because it gives you some good weapons right off the bat, and I really don't like to go into Souls-like games, or any FromSoft game for that matter like that, because I kind of like that struggle in the beginning, because it really teaches me how to play the actual game. So that means you're going to have the honor of watching me struggle to learn how to play this game, because it's not actually a FromSoft game, so I don't know what the control scheme is going to be like, or how much different it might be, if really at all. So here we go. No, I don't want to use old computer mode. We'll go English this time, and then next time, Chinese. By the way, my motherboard is the Asus B650EF gaming Wi-Fi. And now I did go ahead and update the BIOS before we started any of this, obviously, because I've had this board for about a year, which means I needed to update it so it would be compatible with, you know, all the recent performance boosts and yada 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 for the 9800X3D. Now there was a new feature in the BIOS when I was resetting my profile, I noticed, called Game Boost. Which again is something I'm going to leave off because I want this to be as kind of vanilla average user right out of the box kind of as possible. Check out our graphics here. Yes. No motion blur. Why is this the default setting? Like, who really likes motion blur that much? Ugh. Alright, so we'll just stick with the... Of course I want ray tracing. We'll leave it on medium though. We'll leave it there, and we'll see what that does. You can already tell this is a very GPU intensive game. CPU is unfazed. These graphics are really good. I think Cyberpunk finally met its match. Here we go. He's getting his butt whooped.
Foul monkey!
He's got a vagina on his forehead. This dirt and ground with all the twigs and everything, like it looks real. Now, I never read the book that this game is based on, and I heard that they didn't really do a wonderful job at kind of explaining the story. So, am I supposed to be the same guy from the beginning? Am I his, like, you know, descendant 100 years in the future, or what am I supposed to be? I know I'm a monkey, but, you know, which monkey? What is this? What is he doing? Is that parrying? Doesn't seem to be doing a very good job. Alright, so during the actual gameplay, we're getting an average of about 89 FPS. You know, sometimes when we're in, as you can see there, you know, like more tree and woodsy dense areas, it kind of drops into the 80s a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and kill this guy real quick with the 7700X, and then we will do some benchmarks and move on to the sweet X3D. Oh, he sees me. Gotcha! Bit of an anticlimactic finish. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hit our benchmarks real quick with the 7700X, and then we'll move on to that sweet X3D. Oh my god, that water is insane! Well, hey, alright. We are great! Not just good, we're great! So this is gonna be our CPU score to beat here. Maybe we'll crack 20,000 overall when we get the X3D in there. Who knows? We'll see. But for now, let's move on to Cinebench. Solid score, solid, very, very commendable. So obviously at its current price point, the 7700X is no slouch when it comes to rendering. The rendering is not really the main reason why I decided to get the X3D. The main reason I decided to upgrade to the X3D is because, well, export time. Now if you've seen any of my other videos, you probably know that my videos can be about between 15 to 25 minutes long. And more often than not, when I'm done editing a video, I'm usually so excited that I'm done editing that I go ahead and export the video without doing a final pass to check for those last little mistakes. And therefore, when I go to watch the video after exporting and before uploading it, I find that I left a mistake or two in there. Now I export all my videos in 4K 60 FPS, and for a 25-minute video with the 7700X usually takes about 40 minutes. So if I can cut that down by at least 5 minutes, I'll be happy. But that being said, so we can get a baseline of that, let's go ahead and export a video with the 7700X, and then we'll put the X3D in. So what I just exported was essentially the first half of the Optiplexitron video. We exported it again in 4K 60 FPS, and this ran about 10 minutes and 48 seconds long. I used the stopwatch on my phone to time it, and we came out at 17 minutes and we'll call it 38 seconds. Which is quite a bit of time, and that's just the first half of the video. And because I have a lot of overhead lighting in my workshop, it can really make the lighting on my phone's camera a little wonky at times, so I have to use a lot of filters to try and counteract that, as you can see with all these purple bar here. So when I export my videos, the 7700X does have its work cut out for it. So if it could take this down closer to the actual time of the video, well, that'd be swell. So without further ado, let's see what this chip can do. Hey there, beautiful. Is that a mirror in your box? Because I can see myself in it. Are you from Tennessee? Because you're the only Oh, you're from Malaysia? Oh. What do you say we get you out of those sticky clothes? Oh, yeah. Victoria, your secret's showing. Take your panties off, take your panties off. Ooh-wee. Isn't it gorgeous? Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? It's in. Oh my god, it's in. How you like your new home, sweetie? Comfy in there? Feel good? Good. It's so beautiful. Ooh, and she runs cool. Alright, let's get our afterburner profile back. And unfortunately, from what I understand, the 9800 X3D is not supported in MSI Afterburner yet, so we'll be able to see its usage, but we're not going to be able to see the temperature or the power draw or anything. But I can assure you, so far, it's running quite cooler than the 7700X. And now remember, this monitor is 1440p, but it's 3440, it's not 2560. So our GPU and everything is having to work a little harder. In reality, you could expect about 10 to 15% more than what you're seeing me get right here. But here we go, 9800 X3D in Cyberpunk. Kaboom! Alright, let's make sure we haven't changed any settings. Quality, blah da 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 da. Okay. Let's go ahead and load our saved game. Where? I don't want the auto saves. Where's the manual save? There we go. Alright, so far pretty much the same performance, but it is 1440p again and 3440, so kind of expected as far as gaming goes.
Help! Is anyone out there? What?
On to our next gig. I don't think so. I like this gun.
All units to the area, we have an urgent situation at Westbrook.
What did I do? I got shot at. I didn't shoot back. Alright, so when it comes to Cyberpunk in 1440p, just like we expected, the performance is basically the same. But if we tested this in 1080p, I'm sure the 9800X 3D would come out on top. But again, my purpose for this upgrade was more of a productivity type of upgrade. So let's go ahead and check out the first little bit of Wukong again real quick, and then we'll move on to the benchmarks. Alright, so let's make sure we still got the same graphics settings. Yes. Okay, everything is the same. And let's just start a new journey. So we can compare the same scenes. Again, I really don't think there's going to be any difference in 1440p, especially not on this 3440 monitor. I will say this chip is running a hell of a lot cooler than the 7700X. I mean, it's like a good 15-20 degree difference right now. Really wish Afterburner would hurry up and get support for this. The utilization is definitely a lot lower, that's for sure. Probably why it's running so much cooler. If I'm not mistaken, so far this performance here actually looks a little worse. Not enough for me to really care, but again, remember we're in 1440p, so we shouldn't be really expecting any difference at all. I don't know. It's been 24 hours since I did the 7700X tests. I really can't remember how it compares, but I feel like it's either like a couple percent worse or like exactly the same. Again, this is only one game, and who knows, maybe this one game is just really more geared towards clock speed. The 7700X while you're gaming really does boost to 5.5 just like at all times. And Afterburner won't show us the clock speed of this, but I want to say the max boost is 5.2? So yeah, we definitely lost a bit of performance in this game, but whatever, it's still plenty good enough for me. And like I said, gaming was not the main reason that I bought this CPU, and this is only one game. Looking at the CPU utilization though, however, I can tell that I just gained a lot of productivity and multitasking capability. So with that being said, let's go ahead and hit our overall performance and productivity benchmarks. So yeah, the 9800X 3D definitely crushed it in productivity. The CPU score beat it by over 2,400 points. Graphics score actually went up a tiny bit, and our overall score went up by around 700. So yeah, it definitely wins. And I'm sure when we hit it with Cinebench here in a minute, it's definitely going to be the same story. Okay, so yeah, maybe we beat the score by just a little bit, you know, only like 3,600 points. But before we say this was worth $200, let's see if this was worth my meta of tests for what I needed it to be quicker for. And let's hit the export of that same video. And our timer starts now. 13 minutes and 34 seconds, a difference of 4 minutes and 3 seconds, which means through exporting this whole video, since this is only half of it, would be a difference of 8 minutes and 6 seconds. Each time I export this video failing to realize I'm left in a mistake, which is a huge chunk of time for me. And also considering the fact that again I shoot in 4K 60 FPS, I tend to edit using proxy files. And from everything I've seen, clearly it is going to generate those proxy files much faster, also saving me even more time. So overall, I would definitely say this is worth the difference in my money. And it's a 9800X 3D. Let's be honest, as I benchmark more games, even in 1440p, I'm sure we're gonna find that the X3D on average beats out the 7700X. But again, still, if you're considering these two chips, a 7700X at half the price is a hell of a valuable gaming chip. And I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it might be caching the entire boot process, because it's taken this rig from about 40-45 seconds to boot down to about 5 seconds. And as far as what I'm going to do with the 7700X, I'm not really sure yet. Who knows? Maybe we'll do another giveaway. But for now, since I literally just bought Wukong before starting filming this video, I'm gonna go ahead and dive right back in onto that and have myself a fun little Sunday here. So until next time, be easy and game on.